Hey guys, this is Tony with Inner Geek Designs. Today I'm back with another video. Starting with the new year, I want to go over some things about, potentially what's the best software for you to use going in the new year. We're all looking to become a better person, improve ourselves, improve our design career, improve everything in our lives. So, are you using the right design software for you to get the benefits that you're looking for? So let's go through that. Let's start with what's the best vector software you can use. As a designer, vector designing is one of our strongest tools we can use for scalable design, for logo design, especially even into print design to have control of creating cut contours and making sure we have spot colors. So let's go through that. Let's go through some of the best options for vector design software in 2026. Like and subscribe if you learned something from this, and let's just hop into it. So let's start with the big one, Adobe or Illustrator specifically. This is the design standard for too many years at this point that I can think of. There's still a reason why it still is a design standard. Has the most functionality, the most tools. It gets the most updates. Big downside of Adobe right now is you have to pay for software as a subscription. Most people don't like to do that. I don't personally like to do that. That's why I switched to Affinity a couple years ago already. But still to this day, Adobe is your gold standard of what you need in a design software. Illustrator still does great. It's got tools that some competitors are still trying to catch up with. And they're still looking ahead. They're looking very heavy into AI. I've used some of the AI tools in Illustrator, and I think Illustrator has probably the weakest AI tools they have. Doesn't seem to hit the same mark as like Photoshop. And part of that's probably all the machine learning they did in Photoshop before. Illustrator's just getting started with those tools, so it's still in the learning phase and still building up phase. They're still the best live trace tool I know. Overall, I'd still say, like, if you're in a professional setting, if you're in a team setting, and you're in an agency style setting or a big print shop, Illustrator probably you should still be using. The Creative Cloud, when you use the full capabilities of the Creative Cloud, like building libraries that everyone can get to, building fonts or font libraries and everything, and building a whole library just for your customers, this is where that monthly subscription gets a better bang for its buck. Also, once you start using Photoshop, if you use some of the video suite and you use some of the other part of the design suite, then you're getting a bigger bang for your buck. But if you're a one-person studio, or you're just doing this as a hobby, I don't think you need Illustrator. There are plenty of other tools out there that are better suited for your needs and at least get you started learning how to use these tools. Let's talk about the next the next option available for you. And that's CorelDraw. I'm not the biggest fan of Corel. I will be pretty blunt about it. I feel it's clunky. I feel it's got an old UI. But there are people that like it. There are people that still use it. I feel like Corel's strength is that it is very geared towards if you use a drawing tablet for vector work. That's one of its bigger strengths versus Illustrator. Illustrator can do those, but it just feels better in Corel. It's hard to explain until you do it. The only thing I would say is that I just don't like the user interface. It's crappy. It feels old. Corel has the benefit of at least being a one-time purchase. It's like $400 and something. You don't get any updates after that. If you want the next version, you have to pay for it. So it's like the old subscription model that we used to have, or the old pricing model we used to have for Illustrator or Adobe. Adobe used to be like $1,000 or so, and if you bought it at the right time, you could then get a free upgrade. This one you don't. There are people that like Corel. I still have not figured out why people like Corel. It never clicked with me. I want to at least say it's an option. Hey, if you want to look at it, check out, see if its features work for you. I know it's got pretty good color. It's great with drawing tablets and that, but never clicked with me overall. Let's talk about the next option, which is Affinity. This is my go-to design tool. I've used it since Affinity 2, and I love it. It's got all the features I need, and Affinity 3 has added so many more features that I was asking for. It's now free. Before you had to pay for the programs either separately or as a bundle. I bought them out as a bundle. I think it was like $180 for 3 programs. And it was like $40 for each of them if you want them separately. Now they took all three of them, put them in one platform or one program, and now you just switch the personas as you need. I love that you get one tool that can be your InDesign, Photoshop, Illustrator. The designer end is really nice. It's really simple to use once you get over the learning curve, especially if you're coming from Adobe. Things are just handled a little bit differently or placed a little bit differently. But overall, a great tool. Making it free makes it so much easier to get into. There are some things, like I said, there's learning curves. I think the biggest thing that someone's going to get a hurdle over get to is how do you export a document, making sure you have the right settings set up. Also integrate into Canva. You get the benefit if you're a Canva Plus, I think it is, whatever their subscription model is. If you're a member of that, it also passes over to Affinity, and then you get their AI suite into it. It's the only thing that's not included in the free plan is you don't get access to the AI suite. Doesn't really affect me day to day. I use AI for other things. I don't use it really for graphic design work. I use it more for like coming up with ideas and stuff and bouncing stuff off and using it as a mirror basically in my brain. Has a chance really to become a solid number 2, especially with Canva backing it. If you took everything Corel did wrong, Affinity did right. It feels more natural. It feels more right what I'm looking at. You have dynamic tools that switch on your status bar. You have tools that make more sense and honestly just feel better overall. I think honestly in 2026, these three are probably still your strongest to go with. But let's go through some others that are also a potential option. Honestly, looking in 2026 and going forward, I think Affinity and Illustrator are your strongest two to go with. I think Canva is not done going neck to neck with Adobe. I wouldn't be surprised if I see Adobe come up with a potentially free model, or a free version, but that would take a little bit for them to figure out what they're stripping out of those features. Also, another good thing for Affinity, if you have an iPad, it works on there. I can't remember if 3 has the ability right now, but 2 does, and I know they are going to make Affinity 3 also work on the tablet if it doesn't, or specifically iPads, if it doesn't already. So it's also a bonus if that fits in your workflow. Let's talk about another free option, which is Inkscape. Inkscape is free, and I gotta say it has a very clunky UI as well. Inkscape gives me the vibe of a open source project. That's not a good or a bad thing. It's the vibe I get. I think it's really good for someone that's just like wants to dip their toe in and like try to figure out, well, does vector even work for me? It seems like it's more geared to try to be like a artist tool than like a design tool. But I think it's a solid option. It's okay. I've tried it a little bit and I wasn't not happy with what I was doing. I just wasn't happy with how I was doing. I felt like I was taking more steps than I need to get where the tool I needed to get to, or the process I needed to get to. So that's what seemed a bit clunky for me. Overall, I don't think Inkscape's bad. I think it's an option. Like I said, it's free. You have no commitment for it. So if it doesn't work for you, you at least aren't shoveling out money, or you're not in a trial and you have to cancel it. It's free. Give it a shot, see if it works for you. I'm not a big fan of the layout. It reminds me a little bit of Corel, and Corel gives me bad juju, so it's just not jiving with me at the layout end also. So those are my takeaways for what are the best software in 2026. I hope you learned something. I hope you got something out of it. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.